loves, welcome back to CupcakeDelect. I'd love to welcome all my Be Inspired Women's Club Book Club members to join us as we read yet another piece of goodness from the Never Unfriended book by Lisa Jo Baker. This is our March book of the month. I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you haven't purchased this book as yet, I hope that the pieces that I've chosen to share with you entices you to go get the book. It's really a gem. The book Never Unfriended by Lisa Jo Baker is divided into 4 parts. The first part asks the question, what are we afraid of? And is actually covered by 3 chapters. Friendship PTSD, the fear of missing out, and the fear of being the new girl, or the fear of being or including the new girl. Today, I'd love to share with you guys a reading from chapter 2, The Fear of Missing Out, FOMO. If you are following along in your books as I read, turn to page 34. The Fear of Missing Out, FOMO, F-O-M-O. We don't have a word for the opposite of loneliness, but if we did, I could say that's what I want. Marina Keegan. I think it's what we all want. Not to feel lonely, to live a life full of the opposite of loneliness. We want welcome and closeness and connection, and invites for hot chocolate, and evenings spent catching up, and mornings that warm us with the leftover glow from time spent with people who want us. We want to be seen. But we live in a world saturated by images with a million different stories and faces and Instagram accounts and Facebook pages and Pinterest boards and Snapchats, all competing for the same real estate to rise to the surface of what catches the eye. A million people longing to be seen. So many images to choose from, so many stories of togetherness, and all of them flitting past us like so many window displays. Look at that pretty table. Look at what fun they had at the beach. Look at those women worshiping together, or book clubbing together, or biking together. And we awkwardly bear witness to 1,000 other lives, all from the other side of the window, the outside. It can crush a heart. It can make a soul feel empty, uninvited, unwelcome, if we let it. A few summers back, we spent 6 days in northern Michigan Lake Country with no internet, cell, or data connection. No suffocating sense of loneliness, competition, or comparison either. No dread at seeing that photo of that thing you weren't invited to join. It gets a girl thinking real hard about this online space where we all spend so much time, and wondering how to carve out quiet, safe spaces for the soul to remember it is beloved, pursued, cherished, and called in the midst of the chaos we wade through every day. The sky was so big and the water so wide, it made me feel small in all the right ways. Not because my house is too small, or my wardrobe too limited, or my toolbox of skills too worthless, or my online presence too tiny compared to someone else's. No, it made me feel small because that's the appropriate reaction for a human being to have when she tilts her head back and gets a glimpse of the God who sculpted all that awesome with his bare hands. The horizon that arches on forever, and the tiny minnows that dart and dash between my son's toes. How the same God breathed life into both. The daunting expanse of the cosmos stretched out above us like a hammock, and the sand sifted and squished beneath our bare feet. I am so small in that context, and it's a relief. We were not built for big. We were built to reflect the glory of the God who is big and who is not afraid to speak to us in a still, small voice, a gentle whisper, and after the earthquake, a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire, and after the fire, a sound of gentle stillness, and a still small voice. Yes, 1 Kings 19:12. And I heard it as I kicked the swing back and forth at the side of Little Traverse Lake, with the water gently lapping up to the rock levee. Aunt Marcia sat next to baby Zoe and me. Zoe held on to her face with both hands and they were both laughing. Aunt Marcia, who had been fighting tumors in her lungs and brain for the past year and who kept showing up in real life. I could see her because I'd slowed down enough to stop looking past everything that was right in front of me. But before that, on the long drive from Virginia to Michigan, and then up into the palm of the mitten to Peter's family's lake cabin, I was still tracking everyone online, tracking their vacation plans from my thumb on the front seat of the minivan, flicking through photo after photo. Then once we hit Traverse City, I couldn't get any kind of reception on my phone. No text messages or Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. No blog posts or Pinterest or glimpses into what other people were doing that didn't include me. No ache from the annual event that never has my name on the list but nonetheless floods my internet feeds with updates and prayers and faces reflecting all the wonder of being invited. Instead, all I heard in that quiet moment in Michigan was the lapping lake and Aunt Marcia holding my baby girl, giggling at her over the rims of her sunglasses as a speedboat chugged by in the distance and someone lazily called out for a refill on their drink. Not having access to people's lives 1,000 miles away focused all my attention on the lives of the people right in front of me. The miracle of their lives lived in between an aunt's cancer and the baby girl's first swim in the lake, and all of it the reflected glory of the God who calls them both by name and knows each beat of their hearts from the inside out. The God who gave them to me and me to them and calls us all family. Later that week, there was an afternoon we all sat out on the front yard of Uncle David and Aunt Marcia's farm and watched the cousins play soccer. Then Aunt Marcia surprised us by getting up from her seat and sprinting into the game, laughing and keeping us up with the boys. Her mom and her sister and nieces cheered from the sidelines, tired from the late nights of catching up on fireworks and little boys racing around with their big cousins and uncle on the gator. And then she sat back down next to me, laughing and sweating so wholly alive. I took her photo. I asked if I could share it sometime, and she said, yes, go tell them how I fought and how I made it and how I'm here today. I've carried her words in my mind, and I've been the only one to read them for a long time. Because that summer day in Michigan, there was no way to post them because the internet had slipped out of reach of my fingers and my phone had run out of battery from neglect. More importantly, I remembered what it feels like to belong in the spaces where we were made to fit, instead of the ones we only wish we could fit into. It makes me simultaneously want to quit the internet and forge deep into grab Christ's daughters by the shoulders and shake them and repeat real loud into their beautiful eyes. You are chosen, wanted, necessary, lavishly loved. There is only one you, and we need you not to disappear, duck, hide, or give up to the lie that you don't belong. I need to read that over again. I love this part. You are chosen, wanted, necessary, lavishly loved. There is only one you, and we need you not to disappear, duck, hide, or give up on the lie that you don't belong. We need you here and now. We need you to fight your way through so that you can look around at your family, at your people and say, yes, I made it and I'm here today, just like Aunt Marcia, right? You are necessary. You are not invisible. Yes, you are necessary. You are not invisible. You are named and seen. And please don't erase your relevance because you think you're not relevant to the people you pass by on a screen. Now, you all might be listening to this and wondering, not that important. I don't really care much about social media. But let's go a little bit further into the chapter. Social media has turned all of us, to some degree or another, into peeping toms who spend hours of every day watching from the outside of the window what's happening inside the lives of the people we know and often people we don't. And what we want and what we experience morph into two different sides of the same coin. We want connection, but what we experience instead is loneliness. Let me fast forward a little past this part because I need to come up to the end and just cement it a little bit. Let's go to page 42. Page 42. We see where this chapter really talks about wanting to be included in almost everything that is hype, wanted to be featured, wanted to fit in. But I want you to actually get this book and read this book because I'm going to summarize this. I'm going to end this reading now with a little juice from the end, and I just have to share this piece, right? So she speaks about her father, who is a heart surgeon, right? And lays down a really nice piece of poetic look at what's going on now and what FOMO really is about, right? Which says, if we want our living hearts to survive the transplant, we have got to demote our social media status, our obsession with inclusion and our fear of missing out, and get it out of the hallowed place. We have worshipped at the altar of inclusion when we were built to worship at the altar of the only living God. Living tied to clicks and likes and friend requests on Facebook will drain the life out of us, true. But our hearts will easily beat in time to the holy rhythm that hallows God over and above everything else, especially ourselves, because it's what we were built for, to glorify God and enjoy Him forever. And this is my personal belief. I know it mightn't be the belief of everyone out there, but this is my belief and my purpose as well. When I purchased Never Unfriended, I didn't even know that this is the type of book that I was going to get, something faith-based, and it really encourages you to seek the peace that you need, that is necessary. Not in the social media, as this chapter would have dealt with. It continues, it says, so when the Savior decapitates the lion serpent, pries into fangs from our hearts and grafts his own wholly delighted, others-centered organ into our bodies, heart transplant, we will outlive the lie that we have been left out. Like it's a lie to be left out, to feel left out from everything that's on social media. Because now our internal compass will be pointing us back to the promise that we were always planned and wanted and included from before the beginning of time. The drumbeat of God's love and acceptance will beat in our very chest and echo in our ears and reverberate around our lives. As the new heart does its work, pumping life and truth through us, hurt from exclusion will be drowned out by a new message. That while it may have hurt when you didn't get that invite to what everyone else is doing, it feels so good to finally realize you are good enough and worthy even without the invite. Yes. You are good enough, you are worthy. You are worthy. You are good enough. That's the message of this chapter. I really hope that you enjoy this reading. I do encourage you still, if you have not yet joined, to go pick up the book Never Unfriended. We're almost to the end, to the middle of March, and we'll soon be moving on to April's book pick. I'm going to be sharing it soon on Instagram. So take care, and I hope you enjoy this one. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Remember to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed as yet, what are you waiting on? Subscribe, turn your post notifications so that you don't miss an upload, and always come back to this channel for so much juicy stuff. Yes, we have a lot of inspiration. I really hope that we have been an inspiration to you.